We are very, very fortunate to have David Carson with us. I love David. Love working with David. Have known him for, it feels like forever, but probably like 5 years.
Definitely. Yep.
And you can find him all over the place. If you're not on mute, we're going to ask you.
Laptop over here, but my laptop is
Kelly, if you could help with that too. Got you. Thank you. And we're really excited to be partnering with BODYARMOR LYTE this evening. They provided us with tons of, we love this stuff. David loves it too, right, David?
Yeah, no, the stuff is great. Yeah, all my athletes love it. Less sugar, more real ingredients. I love it.
Super great for you. And one of the things we wanted to do with this workshop tonight is we wanted to present it in a really goal-oriented way. We know a lot of folks have goals this year to get stronger, and we're sort of in a different situation than we've ever been in before. So we wanted to create something that had two parts. One, it armed you with the information you needed to achieve those goals, even if you don't have access to a gym. And then two, to actually take all the stuff we learned and bring it to life. Does that sound great, David? Did I do okay?
Yeah, that sounds, yeah, no, you're doing great.
Okay, good. So last thing, we're, again, huge fans, partners with BODYARMOR. Thank you to BODYARMOR. After this workshop, you'll get an email with links to a big promotion they're doing right now called Commit to Fit. Also, if you love the stuff and want to try it, we'll share a coupon with you too. If you're David, you got like 2 cases in the mail this week.
Yeah, super nice. Yeah, don't knock on my door though. I'm not sharing.
No, me neither. This is actually my last bottle. I've had it. So, okay, let's do one quick conversational thing. I know it's 6:11. I don't want to take any more time from David because he has a lot to talk about. So I'm going to pull one of these actually curious cards. We love this stuff. Nope. Easiest one. Okay. This is our one quick conversation topic. Then we're getting to strength. Name your top 3 travel destinations post-COVID currently on your bucket list. Type it in and then toss it to David.
Dang, that's great.
I know, David, what's yours?
So I got to go to Japan last year for work, and it like changed my life. I love Japan so much. Japan's awesome. Definitely somewhere warm. I'm thinking Cabo or something like that. And third is Italy, Lake Como particularly.
Lake Como. I think I just wanted, Kelly and I actually had a trip planned with a couple other girlfriends. Some might be on this. And we were going to go to Peru.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canceled. So
yeah, for sure.
We've got Cuba, South Africa, Egypt, Jordan.
Yeah, Africa. I want to go. Africa is definitely either Egypt or South Africa. That's definitely a good one too.
Yeah. Road trip. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll read a couple more of these and then we'll jump in. Greece, Portugal, Croatia, Japan, Italy. Yes. Oh, we've got travel friends for you, David.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah. And last thing for me, we do these workshops because we love to try new things and meet new people. That's why you'll see me kind of making you talk a little bit in the beginning. It's easy to get on a Zoom workshop and not turn your camera on or not see anybody. And that's fine too, if that's your style, but it's also nice to make friends. As we say at A Sweat Life, everything is better with friends. So thanks for indulging us in these 12 minutes of friendship. And the other reason we do these workshops is to learn new things, try new things. So if you are brand new to a strength training routine, just raise your hand and then I'll mute myself and unhighlight. I want to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Training routine, raise your hand. If you don't know how to raise your hand, you can just type yes. I won't be mad either. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, I like the thumbs up too.
Yeah, thumbs up works. All right, we
Nice.
got some noobs. This
Nice.
is exciting.
Yeah.
All right, David, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Unhighlight and mute. Take it away.
Okay, so kind of how we want to start this, and I think it's important for people to not only if you're new to strength training, but also people who have been strength training for a while, right? Like I got into strength training through basketball, so I've kind of always had a coach tell me what to do, right? And I think many times as instructor or as you guys instructor, sometimes I come in and just tell you what to do. And many times we don't give enough about the why, all right? So a big highlight of what we're gonna talk about today is training versus working out, right? Training versus working out. It's gonna be sometimes where we just work out, but most of the time we wanna train, right? So just in our life, when we think about what training is going in with a plan, right? So the first thing you wanna do in developing your strength program is decide what's important to you, right? Do you wanna get stronger? Do you wanna become more athletic? Do you wanna get rid of a certain knee pain or back pain? Did your doctor tell you you should develop more core strength? Are you coming back from an injury? Are you a runner who wants to become stronger, to become better, to become a better and more efficient runner? With that said, once you have that goal in mind, you could then work from that goal, if that makes sense, right? So for example, if I'm a great runner and all I want to do is run, but we know running comes with overuse injuries. And for me to stop that and stop those injuries, I have to develop strength, particularly single leg strength, lower body mobility, things like that. Okay, so that's our first thing of the day. We want to think training versus working out. Have a goal in mind, like I said. Also, I want to talk about, if you're not testing, you're guessing. Okay, I can tell I'm getting old and becoming a coach for a long time because I have a ton of these one-liners, right? So if you guys remember anything else, remember, if you're not testing, you're guessing. With that said, is no matter, I just did this testing with a couple of my younger athletes, right? So I can tell you until I'm blue in the face that the athlete is getting better or you're getting stronger. But if I don't test and assess where you were to where you are now, none of that makes sense. I'm just blowing smoke up your butt, right? So many times, since we're stuck at home, the thing that I care about most about this time since the pandemic has started, we've kind of been pushed back to the basics, and I love it. Many times we've been spoiled for these last years, the next cool trend, the next cool toy, the next this, the next special this, right? When really at the bare of it, movement is what is at the base of everything, okay? So I wanna give you guys a test that you can do at home with very little equipment, okay? So you're gonna have 4 moves, I don't know why I did this, 4 moves, right? And we're gonna test your strength in those moves. So as you design your program, your whole goal in mind is, all right, this is my base. When I test again, I wanna essentially get better in my base. The first move are push-ups, okay? I want you to put something on the ground, whether it's a small towel rolled up, and you're gonna try to touch your chest to the ground as many times as you can consecutively, unbroken, right? So maybe all of us aren't ready for full set push-ups. You can modify those push-ups and see how many you can get unbroken. That tests upper body strength. It's essential, right? You don't need any equipment. You need very little space to get that done. That's our first test, push-ups. Second test are pull-ups, right? I'm going to talk a little bit about what equipment I want you guys to have in your home gym, but we could go to Target, Amazon, like Em said, right? And find a pull-up bar that we can put on our door. If we're not there at pull-ups, we can put a band under it, or we can do pull-ups from our suspension straps. Upper body pulling strength, right? So many times at home, especially my bodybuilders, or we get the next push-up challenge, right? So all of that pushing, all of that cell phone, all of that computer work has us have round shoulders. Our posture really suffers. Testing our pulling strength is really a test of, all right, if we're so strong in our push and we're very weak in our pull, we're gonna have an imbalanced training program and we're gonna set ourselves up for injury, okay? I wish I could see you guys shaking your head. Let me see if I can get it here, because that's my only thing as a coach that I think you guys are paying attention. All right, so that's the upper body pulling strength. Third is, I see a lot of people want to max out on back squats or deadlifts. Obviously at home, very little of us have a barbell. We definitely don't have a trap bar at home with 400 pounds walking around, all right? So we're gonna test a single leg squat. With that said, I want you to put your back foot on a step or a bench. And again, I want to see how many unbroken squats you can do, okay? So whether you can get 10 by getting that knee to the ground every time, think about, I wanna get perfect squats. I wanna see how low I can get every time, right? If you can knock about 20, 25, and you have equipment, I will move up to the equipment. Say you have 10-pound dumbbells, have those 10-pound dumbbells on your side, see how many unbroken you become. As you can see, this becomes progressive, right? You can lose your balance at first and like, damn, man. Many times balance is an assessment of strength. Single leg squat, our single leg strength is a great test of our back. It would improve our balance, it would improve our efficiency, really leave us at a better time to not get injured. Those are 3: lower body strength, lower body power, lower body endurance, okay? Our 4th test will be a plank hold to test what? Core strength, which is one of our most important things. How long can you hold your plank with form, right? So you gotta think in the beginning of this, P90X made a huge jump about 10, 15 years ago, maybe even longer than that, right? And one of the things that they did better than others, it wasn't that the workout was more amazing, but it gave you baseline tests, right? And with those baseline tests, people started to see that they were getting stronger, right? It's not that this program was so much better than any other program, but with those tests, people started to buy in more to the program, right? And you got to think in your own, if you're able to go back and retest, if you didn't get better at a lot of these moves, you will know to retweak your program. Something you're doing is not working. And if it is working, you're able to dial in even more and realize, okay, this is working for me. This helps me do this, right? And that's eventually how we develop our training program, okay? So when we start to think about our routine, this is one of the biggest questions I get, and these come from seasoned pro athletes. How do I build out my own routine? And I think most of our audience here, they have a great library of exercises that they can do, right? They just don't know when to pour from that bucket and when and where to pour from that bucket, okay? So I want you to think about your body in the front and the back. The front is your anterior. The back is your posterior. All right, I want you to think about cutting your body in half. Let's kind of get out of this bodybuilding split. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he kind of destroyed what we did in terms of how we thought about training.
Hey, David.
Sorry. Yes.
I have 2 questions from the comments.
Of course, I'm here. Yep, of course.
And you tell me if you don't want me to interrupt you too.
No, that's fine. Listen,
okay.
I can talk all day about this.
First question from Kristen is, if you can't do it to start, what should you do instead to gain?
So I will use a suspension strap. I can even demonstrate this. I will use a suspension strap or even anything here. Can you guys see me a little bit? Yeah, so your knees are gonna be bent here and you're gonna see how many times you can do a modified pull-up here. Or even if you have resistance bands at home, you can wrap that under the pull-up bar just like you would a gym. Put your foot in and really go that modified, right? Because in itself, that becomes a test of, okay, I wasn't able to do a pull-up for the first 12 weeks of this program. I'm able to get my first pull-up now. So it's just a great test. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about what equipment we should have in our gym that really goes along with our test, that we're able to see the progression. The great thing in testing is you see the progression, right? We're not guessing. Again, if you're not testing, you're guessing. Maybe I'm better at pull-ups, maybe not. Maybe this program is hidden, maybe not. I'd like to talk a little bit about training and working out. Training is I'm hitting the bullseye every time I come in. I'm thinking about hitting the bullseye for my goals. I want to think about what performance goals do I have. Working out is kind of, I'm just throwing spaghetti on the wall. What sticks, sticks. What doesn't, doesn't. Some may stick, some may not. And what's the other question, Gina?
Other question, is a single leg squat a pistol squat? I'm not sure I've ever done a single leg squat.
Yeah, so a single leg squat, you think about our Bulgarian split squat. I love pistol squats, but I'm a little jealous of you guys. I'm 6'6", and I'm, you know what I mean? I'm just never gonna be able to do a pistol squat like the cool yoga dudes do on TV, all right? So here, the Bulgarian split squat, I'm gonna put my back foot on a bench or a step, and I'm just trying to get my back knee as far down to the ground as I can and come up. So if I'm grabbing dumbbells or I'm grabbing a kettlebell, I'm just gonna load that movement here. So great single leg progression here. I love pistol squats, but sometimes it doesn't give us a ton of progression to work towards.
Awesome. Thank you, David. I'll go back on mute.
Okay, for sure. So next, we're going to talk a little bit about programming. Like I said, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he kind of split our body up into a bodybuilding routine. We think biceps, triceps, chest and tri, quads, right? Our body doesn't work like that. Our body works as a system, right? So we want to think about that when we're training. So I always try to give people either a 2-day split or a 4-day split, okay? So you guys can take notes of this. This has really worked for me and has really worked in my programming for my clients. So you're gonna think, if I can give myself 2 days where I know I'm gonna get some strength training in, all right? I'm gonna separate that into push and pull, all right? Push and pull. I'll describe that in a little bit, okay? So on one day I come in, I'm gonna work on my push, right? Everything in the front of your body, your anterior, right? So I'm gonna think about maybe my shoulder press, maybe my push-ups, my squat to press. I'm using some quads, right? My anterior core, maybe plank, okay? On that second strength day, I'm going to think about pull. Our pull is very, very important because that's usually underdeveloped in our body. Weak hamstrings, weak glutes, back problems, things like that. So in our pull, we want to think about rows, our pull-ups, our deadlifts, our RDLs, our glute bridges, right? There's a reason I love the push-pull, right? Because many times when we're at home especially, we want to utilize the most for our time and get our body the most amount of progress, right? Whether you have a weight loss goal, a strength goal, a coordination athleticism goal, working your entire body will accelerate that, okay? Coming in and just doing biceps one day will not accelerate your body goal, right? You'll leave with a great pump, but it will not accelerate your body goal, whatever that goal is, okay? And also, I hold myself accountable to my imbalances, understanding that I don't want to put myself out of imbalance, right? Many times when I push this push-pull programming, people often see that their push is so much stronger than their pull that they need to get a little extra work in that pull, okay? So that's the 2-day routine. What I like about the 2-day routine is many times, a lot of us especially, you know, because we're so well established and we love to work out, that's why we're here, that we're able to get a 3rd day of strength in. And in that 3rd day, I always tell my clients, have a little fun. Do what you love to do, right? If you give me the meat and potatoes, which are the push and the pull, on that 3rd day, you can have a little fun. Tell me what you like to do. What are your favorite moves? What's that body part that kind of nags you a little bit? What's that one move that you can't do? Spend a little time on that in that 3rd day with you, okay? Now, for the super crazy people or people who are getting closer to a goal, an extreme performance goal, I will go into a 4-day split, right? And it starts to make sense. Push, pull, right? So if I have a 4-day split now, I want to think 2 upper body days and 2 lower body days, if that makes sense, right? I'm gonna have a push lower body day, push upper body day, push lower body day, pull lower body day, pull upper body day. Okay, it'd be cool right now if you guys can give me one from each and just type it out and send it to Gina. 1 push, upper body, 1 push, lower body, 1 pull, upper body, 1 pull, lower body. I'll give you guys a couple minutes there. Just kind of just send them through. And then you could just start yelling those out to me, Gina.
I'm on it. We've got push-ups, pull-ups, squat.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. So what would squats go into, guys? This is a little of a trick question. What pull would you put squat into? Is it a push, pull?
Let's see.
Sorry, I didn't want to quiz you guys. I'm sorry about that.
Ariana says push, lower.
Exactly. So that's a
Nailed it,
great,
Ariana.
great job, Ariana. So that's a great push move. And the great thing about that is, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about how what moves to program next. Is just in terms of squat is such a great move, right? I can go split squat, I can go squat to press, I could go squat to hold, right? There's so many different variations of this move. Okay. So you gotta think our push, when we think of programming, separated to 2 or 4 days. Now, when you think about your HIIT training or your cardio training, I always try to say a great program will have a base cardio energy system development day and one day that you could kind of load up with kind of everything of what we consider our HIIT training, right? I think we kind of overdo HIIT and we work a little bit too hard. Consistency over intensity, consistency over intensity, right? You got to think this is a long game. Our goals, we want to continue to go this way. We don't want to spike, come down because of injury, spike, come down because of injury. Okay?
2 questions, David.
For sure.
And 1 question, let me roll back to it. Does it matter whether the 2 days or 4 days are consecutive or spread out in the week?
See, that's the great thing about, and that's why I kind of love this program. And that's a great question because they can be consecutive because we're working opposing parts of the body, right? So if I'm working, even if I'm on my 4-day cycle and I work out 4 straight days, if I'm doing an upper body push and the next day I'm doing a lower body pull, those muscles won't interfere with each other, right? So that chest, my shoulders gonna be super sore, but then the next day me working my hamstring, glutes, everything in my lower half for a pull, they won't interfere. And then when I come back and go an upper body pull, now I'm working a different opposing muscle group. And now when I go to the push, I'm going lower body push, I'm working a different muscle group that has had 2 days to rest. That's why I love this type of programming because 1, I think we all have a bucket of moves that once we write them all out and we put them in each bucket, and that's my next thing of advice. Think of every move you know, right? And not to just plug NTC, but go to like Nike Training Club and just look at all the moves that you see. Write them down, the ones you know, and put them into a bucket of pull, push, pull, upper body, lower body. Once you have this huge bucket, then you're able to pick and choose in the program. And that's what you're gonna kind of see from my workout that we do a little bit later, that I'm able to pick and choose from this program, okay? So maybe I wanna stay with a lower body pull. I have all these different variations of deadlift. I have all these different variations of rows for my upper body pull.
Awesome. And then Sarah P said squat and lunge. Those are both lower body push, right?
Yeah, so so the lunge, can you separate twice? And this was when I become a nerd. I'm a nerd in it. I don't want you guys to overthink it, right? So a reverse lunge. So here when I'm stepping back and I step forward, what am I doing? I'm kind of pulling through this front leg, right? So that would kind of go into a lower body pull. With that said, if I go into a forward lunge and I come back, I'm pushing with that upper, right? So not to confuse you, you can put, the lunges are such a great move that they can go in either day, and I would do them consistently. But if you're trying to lock it down like that, that's a way to think about it.
Also, Sarah had it right. I read it wrong. I'm gonna go back on mute.
Okay. All right, for sure. So next, I want to talk to you guys about movement, right? So we have major moves. So push, pull, rotate, core, hinge, core. All right. So I want you guys to kind of think about whatever movement you do, you start to put them in those buckets. Push, pull, rotate, hinge, core. Push, pull, rotate, hinge, core. Okay. All right. So now I want to talk a little bit about our warm up. Okay. This is another big question. I think we get a lot every time me and Gina kind of get together, and every time I kind of do a seminar like that of what to do in your warm up. All right. So this is where I kind of say you start to work backwards. When you think about training, and once you go in with a plan everything else becomes easier, right? Because you got to think, we don't train in a vacuum, right? We have stress for our day. Farrah could have pooped in a hallway. I'm having a stressful time at work. You know what I mean? So we don't live in a vacuum. So our brains aren't coming in and we're just so tapped into this workout that we're able to just be in the zone every single time, right? So when we think about training and we going in with a plan, so if I know I go in with my pull day, my lower body pull day, I want to think about warming up those specific muscles. I want to get my body warm for the training that I'm about to do that session. Okay, so a great thing that I really love to talk about and warm up, and I kind of put this on my IG a lot. I need to do a lot more with warm up is mobility, stability, and velocity. Okay, so when you think about more warm ups, you want to think about your mobility, stability, and velocity. All right, so my mobility is, so say I have a squat day coming up, I have a lower body push. I want to make sure that I'm able to get in this position, right? Whatever allows me to get there, right? I can go fingertips under toes, really nice big stretch there. I want to make sure those quads are nice and stretched out. All right, so that's the mobility aspect. When I think about stability, right? Am I stable on one leg, right? Even though squat can be a two-leg thing, I want to make sure that I'm able to hold this position, right? So that can go, we can go into our modified pistols where we're going seated to standing. You really want to work on that stability. Last, we want to work on velocity with lower weight. So many times I like to do a squat jump, but you can even modify that with tempo here. So you could go 3 seconds down, drive up nice and fast. So you see that velocity that I'm training with really teaches all the muscles and that muscle fiber to really fire up and get you ready for your workout. Okay. Any questions about that? I know that one could kind of go over people's heads, but I just think it's just an easy way. I'm an easy mantra type of guy that, like, if it's just easy to break it down, I know what I'm getting into. Any questions on that one, Tina?
I didn't see any questions come in.
I like it. Mobility, stability, velocity. Now I think we're doing pretty good on time. So I want to talk to you guys about the gym, setting up your home gym. Okay. So I kind of separated this into 3 different sections. Our gold gym, which is going to be, I think, over $1,200, $1,500 to set up this gold gym. Okay. Silver gym is going to be kind of our mid-level. It's going to be 500 to 1,000 you could spend and really get everything you need for that. Our bronze will be like our beginner. So it could be from anywhere from 150 to 300, 400, right? Depending on what you got. I can maybe even type this out and send this to you, Gina, so we can like get this out to people.
I'm taking notes.
Okay, awesome. So let's start from the bottom up. So that bronze gym. So this is what I always kind of say, like, these are the bare minimum for you to have a great gym. If you have this, you have more than enough to get to your goals. I don't care how advanced you are. You know, many times we think more is the better. But a pair of suspension straps. Here I have a pair of TRX. There are a ton of other competitors out there now. You can usually get a good pair of suspension straps for about $200, $300. Okay. One set of dumbbells or a kettlebell, right? And I was kind of talking to Gina and Kels about this a little bit earlier, or I would error in my weight in the middle, right? So if you're someone who's super strong and used to knocking out 40s or 50s in the gym, I would stay between 20 to 25 just because you're able to kind of have some variation to that, right? You can make some upper body. And when picking the dumbbell or picking the kettlebell, think about your lower body, right? What feels like a good weight for me to squat or deadlift with it? Okay. We're able to get a ton of upper body strength by just our body weight. Lower body strength, on the other hand, is a little bit hard. These are big muscles. We really have to try to load them with weight. Okay. One set of dumbbells or kettlebell, which have been really hard to find. A mini band, a set of mini bands, which Amazon sells like 200 for like $10. So those are really great, right? So they amplify any workout. They're great for warm up. They're great for activation. Okay, put them around your ankles, above your knees, right? Just don't turn into the new IG craze of thinking they're just booty bands. They're great. They're a great upper body band also, okay? Jump rope. Jump rope. I think jump ropes are some of the, is maybe the best, most underutilized athletic tool you can have, right? Especially for our runners, especially for someone trying to develop athleticism, such someone trying to get stronger. They're just a great tool. You can do them anywhere, maybe not any your place, but you can definitely take them anywhere. It's definitely in my travel bag whenever I travel. And last for the bronze are resistance bands, right? Just a pair of resistance bands. They could be some of those rubber bands. You can tie up to anything. You can put them around, strap them through. You can get some deadlifts in, some shoulder press, some curls, some triceps. They're just very versatile, lightweight. Put away. Okay. All right, so next, let's go into our silver. Our silver, like I said, is about that mid-range in terms of expensiveness. I say number one, which I think is the best investment I have, are adjustable dumbbells. It's just a great investment to have. Like I said, man, it's many times the biggest issue I have is a lot of times my clients, they have invested in 4 different sets of dumbbells, and none of them hit the mark when what we're trying to do is too bulky to move around. Adjustable set of dumbbells, we're able to go upper, lower, really overload, right? There's some good ones. Gina, how do you like your Bowflex one? I meant to ask you that.
I like them, but they're a little bulky. I think the power blocks.
Yeah, they're a little bulky. Yeah, the power blocks, man, listen, they're a huge investment, but the power blocks are really good. And they're not paying me for this advertisement, trust me. So they're a really good weight. You can go up to the pro. They have up to 150 pounds. You could get smaller together. But I definitely say research, be the best reviewer you can find. So even if you feel like, okay, maybe I want to invest in a smaller set of adjustable dumbbells, they will pay their weight in gold, right? A lot less space that I don't want a full rack in my place. We have to live at home. We have other things, okay? Again, the suspension straps are extremely important. We can have upwards of 500, 1,000 different variations of exercise on the suspension straps. Easy, we could put them anywhere. Hard to get hurt, which I appreciate. And I'm able to progress with my own body weight. A Navy SEAL created that, and we're all less tough than a Navy SEAL, trust me. Okay. Next in that silver are mini bands. I love mini bands. You'll see, all my athletes warming up, doing activation with these mini bands. And then the pull-up bar that we could hook into the doorway. You can get that from Target, Amazon, anything like that. They're just a great investment. Even if you can't do pull-ups, you can go 10-second ISO holds and it would improve your pull-up, improve your posture. It's just a great thing to have, okay? Last, we have the Gold's Gym. I shouldn't say that. Maybe that's why they stole and got their name. But the adjustable dumbbell. So once we start to really feel good in our gym, in our home, really start to add some weight to that adjustable dumbbell set. Really start to push yourself and really get that low. I think I've seen some of my fitness counterparts get barbells and racks for their house. I think that is highly arrogant. I think it's irresponsible. And I think it's so unnecessary to give that type of influence to the world that we need a barbell in our home to get in shape.
Don't need it.
Sorry. You don't need it. I'm sorry. You do not need it, right? So stick with a great pair of adjustable dumbbells and work your ass off through that set. Again, the suspension straps. In the Gold's Gym, I kind of put a kettlebell set. I have 2 kettlebells. They're 22 kilos, about 40 pounds. So again, I'm thinking I love kettlebells. They're very versatile too. They do have a learning curve. So understand that. They're versatile, but there is a learning curve to them. I love them though. Okay. If you're able to really dedicate yourself to learning the right way to do it, you can really have some fun with kettlebells. A bench. They have some super cool fold-away benches now that you can hike up and put in a corner. A bench can really give you that because it's a great way to test, right? So say maybe I'm not able to do my push-ups on the ground yet. I can put my hands elevated on the bench. On my single leg squat, I can put my back leg there. Benches are a really good investment. I don't have one, but I think that's going to be my next thing, which I feel will complete my gym. We talk a little bit, mats, man, mats are getting great now. You can get a great mat for your home that's really soundproof, that you're able to like put some equipment around. And last for that goal would be the pull-up bar. So again, for this one, you think about maybe 1,200, 1,500, but it's investment. I hate to give everybody this, but a lot of our training is going to be at home or mobile for the foreseeable future. So you guys taking an investment of one, learning how to program, two, learning what you should have in your gym is gonna really, really pay off in the long run, just because we're gonna be here for a while. It's about time for us to start figuring out how to fit our training systems in, how to fit our life into this work from home, work remotely type of issue. And I think that's, unless I'm ready for questions now. I got some questions here that you guys sent through, but I'll let Gina kind of initiate it a little bit.
Let's see. We've got, Winnie wants to know what some good beginner weights for someone who doesn't lift regularly would be.
Yeah, so I would say 15 to 25, anything from 15 to 25. And if you get a pair, which is obviously two, you can separate that, right? So that's 50 pounds, but it automatically goes down to 25. So you could do some work with the 15, 115 or 125 or the other one. Yeah, that's a great question. I will stay away. I will stay away from I think we waste a lot of money in the 2.5s, the 5s, the 7.5s, the 10s. We spend a lot of time down there just because we're a little bit scared. And I assure you guys, you will be able to work past that. You will be able to work past that. We just don't want to spend all that money down there, all that space, and then we look to move and we get in the box like, damn, they go 102.5 pounds I bought in 2021.
Yeah. We have a funny comment about the gold gym being the stimulus check we may or may not get.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then Melissa has a question. What kind of mat to use at home for body weight training do you recommend?
Yeah, so I think, man, honestly, shameless plug, but Nike makes a really good mat out of recyclable stuff. It's pretty durable. It's not too soft where you don't feel the ground, but it's also not directly on the ground where your neighbors are calling the condo association on you.
I'll ask this last one in the comments from Sarah, and then David, do you want me to jump to the questions people asked ahead of time?
Yeah, for sure. I'm
on it. Okay. Sarah said, I use NTC all the time. Do you have any favorite workouts to build a pre-made program?
Mine.
David.
Go to mine. I have a program there. We have pushed it for basketball, but it's a great body weight program that really starts to get to the base of that. But any of like those beginner workouts are great in terms of like building. We're in the talks now of having a testing, because you know kind of what I'm telling you guys, we want people to start testing and knowing where they are. So like we're in the beginning aspects of like putting some tests out there for you guys to do.
Love it. There was a question earlier from Kelly, and she wanted to know how frequently you should be testing.
So that's a great question. Great job. I should have put that in. So I say every 8 to 12 weeks, right? If you're like me, you don't want to become obsessed with it, right? The test isn't the only thing that show progress, but so I would say every 8 to 12 weeks, because you got to think we're training. We want to take a look at our program and see. And another thing I hate to hear from people is like, yo, I'm bored with my training. Just switch up the tempo a little bit, switch up one move, maybe swap it out for the other. Because if you're seeing progression, your body's not bored with it. You just may be bored with the thing. Sometimes even switching the days you do it can be a different stimulus.
Yeah, or the order.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Emily has a question. What are the best practices for injury prevention?
That's a great one. So a proper warm-up is everything. A proper warm-up, a proper activation. I think that's one of the questions we got coming up too. Proper warm-up, proper activation will really save you from a lot of injuries. And taking things slower than you need, right? Many times we get in the gym and we just want to rush and get to the main lifts. I talk a lot about with my clients and my athletes about of everything is important. So if we take our activation, our glute bridges, our side planks, our things like that, if we take that, the most important, we'll get that body prepared for what we're going to do. And always leave on a high, right? Many times I think we've been conditioned to, all right, I can't stop this workout till I'm beat down on the ground. We've just seen too many corny commercials like that, right? Leave the workout on the high, feeling great about yourself, knowing that maybe you could get one more set, but stopping before you get to that set. That's why the training is important. We start to think of the long run, right? That it's not just that workout that's important. It's how we're gonna look and feel in 3 months. That's the most important.
Love it. Kia wants to know, I think Kia may have gotten this question answered, but we'll see. Tips for balancing cardio, strength, and mobility in a fitness routine.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah. So that's one of the questions I thought too, and I saw to it. I really like that. So I always say one energy systems development day or quote unquote hit day and one base cardio day. So the great thing about the hit day, you can infuse that into a strength training program, right? That could be intra workout or at the end of one of those strength workouts of, all right, so maybe 20 seconds of squat jumps, 20-second plank repeat, right? So that's that energy system development, really getting strong. And one base cardio day, which I call my low and slow day. 20, 30 minutes, maybe it's a walk, maybe I'm jumping rope, maybe it's a nice easy run. You know, I don't run for fun, but I know a lot of you guys do.
Jennifer had a question. She wants to know what kind of strength training exercises are most effective and least likely to cause injuries.
That's a really good question. And that's when I go back to functional training. Think movement, push, pull, lunge, hinge, core, right? So functional training, right? It's not what you see on the internet. It's not me balancing on a ball on one leg with something over my head, right? It's just functional training. Squat is a functional movement. Push up is a functional movement. So if we think we want to stay as close to our base movements as we can, we're going to really stop ourselves from injury, right? So it's when we progress too quickly, and I think sometimes we do progress too quickly. If 10 out of 10 are the lunges I see, 4 out of 10 are great. The next 6 out of 10 are bad. So once you master those movements, and I mean master those movements, then you add weight, then you add that, right? So don't load dysfunction. Be a perfect mover first, and then everything else will come after that.
I love it. Okay, Jace had a question, and this I think was my favorite question that we got.
Yeah,
Jace
mine
wants to
too.
know, hello, I'm 12 years old and wanted to know, am I too young for your workout with my dad?
No, you're not. No, you're not, because it's all based on movement. Now, I will say don't use weights, but think about being a perfect mover, right? We're going to do some lunging, some squatting, right? I work with a ton of kids, and we do a lot of things barefoot, and we start marching and we skipping. Many times we don't realize how much of that developmental stage we've missed or we regress from by becoming adults and becoming born. So you're never too young to start. You're going to be better than us, and push dad to the limits.
2 more questions, then we're going to do the thing. Morgan said, I had a baby at the end of November, so working to regain core strength is important to me. I think the question is, how should she incorporate that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. You had a damn miracle, first of all. So be easy on yourself. Yeah, congratulations, Morgan. Be easy on yourself, but work on those core things. Like it always kind of differences and balance what's the most important of your workout, right? So for someone trying to gain a ton of size, or a young kid trying to gain a ton of muscle, the strength part is going to be important side of our workout. I think your activation and your warm-up is going to be the most important meat potatoes of your workout. So glute bridges in all their variations are really good. Core training of our side planks, our front planks are going to be great in terms of like your development, your activation, right? I would invest in some mini bands so we can put them right above our knees, right around our ankles, to really start to get that musculature around our hips, really start to strengthen that. Your body changed, but you're even stronger now. But we still want to take our time. So if you think about that activation, that stays there. And that's also why we want to test, right? Because you can think you're weak in your mind and you test, and that test comes back, and we want to retest to know we're getting stronger while not getting hurt, not pushing ourselves too fast. And always check with a pre and post natal trainer.
All right. Good guidance. We have, Erica Robinson, I think, sent E-Marie, if you don't know.
What's up, E?
I think, Morgan, that's for you if you want to quick grab that. It seems like
awesome.
It's nice. And then last question from Christina. What do you do if one side's stronger than the other? Do you maintain the same weight until the weaker side catches up?
So I always say add 2 to 3 reps every set on that weaker side. If you have a noticeably weaker set, add 2 or 3 reps. That's it. A thing called cross education occurs. Once one side becomes stronger, once you put a little attention there, they really start to come back. But many times, and a trick I do with my clients is start on that weaker side, because many times what you think is your weaker side is not really weak. It's always just the second side you go to. So years and years of that. Even in my demonstration, you guys will only see me demonstrate single leg deadlift balance on my left side because I'm embarrassed I'm gonna fall on my right. So it's just one of those things. Just add 2 or 3 reps on each on that weaker side, you'll be able to really catch up.